Hey everybody, and welcome to this really cool lesson. We're doing an amazing song today. It's Perfect Day by Lou Reed. Some beautiful parts in this, lovely chords. It's not too difficult, but it's some tricky little bits, but we're going to have lots of fun. Let's begin. Right, there's 5 parts to it. Intro, verse, chorus, interlude and outro. We're going to start with the intro. It's pretty simple but very distinctive. Let's begin. Put a capo on fret 1. What we're going to do is play an E major, then we're going to go into an A minor. So it's the same shape, but just dropping it down a string. Okay, so the first part, we're going to use our thumb. Going to do an arpeggiated strum. Okay, don't try and get the high E string. It can sound a bit bright, so stop around about the G or B. If you can stop on the B, then that's ideal. Okay, so stop at either the G or B. It doesn't matter too much. But just get that nice arpeggiated sound. Okay. Then you're going to pluck the G and the B where they're at. So it's first fret on the G, open B. So you're not moving any fingers yet, just plucking G and B. Then you're adding your pinky on to the 2nd fret of the G. Okay, and then now we're going to pluck the D and the G. So 2nd fret D, 2nd fret G. Okay, then we're going to take the pinky off and pluck the G and B again. So that bit can be quite awkward because you're holding this E shape and you're trying to cram in that finger. There are other ways you can do it, but basically if you take off the chord, you're looking for this melody. Okay, that double pluck on the GB, then the DG, then the GB. Okay, so first one will be G, 1st fret, open B. Then D and G at the 2nd fret. Then remove whatever finger went on the 2nd fret, so you got 1st fret on the G and open B. So that's awkward straight away, but if you can get that, you're in business. When I'm doing the finger picking on this, I'm using my index and middle for both, so I'm just hopping across the string. Okay, rather than trying to swap fingers. Okay, it doesn't matter too much for this, it works quite well. Okay, so you go. Should point out the song is in 6/8, so the first strum lasts for 3 beats of 1, 2, 3, and then the next 3 plucks 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so if your timing's off, count it out. Okay. That's the first bar done. Tricky, but you know, it's more tricky to understand what you got to do than it is to play it for a lot of people. If you can get that E shape and get that pinky on and off, that'll really help. Otherwise, you can move your other fingers around. You don't have to hold that shape. When you do the, you could just move your middle and ring finger down for the 2nd frets of the D and G for the 2nd of the 3 plucks. Okay, that works. See that? You could just move middle or ring. So you just do an E strum, pluck the G and B, move your middle and ring down to the 2nd fret D and G, pluck them 2, move them back up to the A and the D, and do that. Okay? So either way, do whatever works, but get it right because this is integral. It's the first part of the song, so you've got to get it right. Then we're going to go to A minor, and we're going to plug the A and B together, the G, and then the D. So that's quite easy really. Okay, and again, that's if we count it out, that's 1, 2, 3. We don't play anything on 4 or 5, but then on 6, we pluck the A string. And then it goes straight into the next chord. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on 1 we're back on the E again. Okay, so the 3rd and 1st bar are the same. And then the 4th bar is very similar. It's the same again, A minor, the A and the B, G, D, but this time we don't play anything on beat 6. We just go straight into the verse. So your intro altogether is this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now without me counting, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so practice that, get that sounding good, play it with a bit of pizzazz, you know, get that nice bright sound on that arpeggiated strum. Make sure everything's loud, bright, clear and confident. Okay, the verse then is pretty simple. All we're going to do is 8 bars and we're just going to pluck all the chords, okay, in a standard 6/8 pattern. So the pattern is going to be root note, G, B, high E, B, G. Okay, it's going to be that for everything, root note, and then all the other plucks are going to be the same. So if we take the A minor, it's going to be root note, which is A string, G, B, high E, B, G. For that would be root note, string 5, then string 3, 2, then string 1, 2, 3. So it's 5, 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, the pluck on the high E string is on beat 4. Okay, so it would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in terms of beats. So whenever you pluck the high E string, because it lands on beat 4, you want to pluck that a little bit harder. So you do loud, soft, soft, loud, soft, soft in the 6 beats. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that's just an accent, just to give it the groove. Otherwise it can sound a bit flat. Hear that? I'm plucking the high E string a bit louder because it's on beat 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep that in mind as you play it through. The next chord is D. It's exactly the same. Root note, D string, then the standard pattern. So it's D string, G, B, high E, B, G. Then we're going to go to the G chord. Same again, root note, then G, B, high E, B, G. Then the C, root note, which is the A string. So A string, G, B, high E, B, G again. That's the first half of the verse. Let's put that together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then we've got F, and we're going to do the F this version. It's not my favourite version of F. It's a bit awkward, but if you can do it, it works well for this. Ring finger, 3rd fret D string, middle finger, 2nd fret G. Index is going to bar across the B and high E. Okay, and you're going to pluck the D string as your root note. Follow the pattern like you have done so far for all the other chords. If you don't like that version of F, you could do the full version, the full bar version, and use either the same root note on the D string, or make your root note on the low E. Okay, that version's a little bit harder for most people, but believe it or not, some people find that easier than doing that. Okay, so either way, use whichever, just make sure you're using the root note, and either root note on the low E string for that version, or the D string, works fine. Okay, but if you're using the little version, it's got to be on the D string, your root note. Once you've done F, we go to D minor. Same pattern again, D string's a root note. Okay, then we get to E for 2 bars, and you've got the option here to do the standard pattern for the E chord, which would be this. So it should be low E, G, B, high E, B, G twice. That works fine, but if you want to follow the recording a little bit, I've got this where on the tab and what I played in the intro playthrough, which is this. Okay, it's a bit like what Mick Ronson was doing on the piano for this part, although he was doing it an octave higher with the twiddly bits. Okay, but or it might have been, even been 2 octaves higher, I'm not too sure. Okay, but what we're doing is that sort of idea, but without the difficulty of having to shoot higher up the fretboard. I mean, we can't even play it 2 octaves higher anyway. We could play it an octave higher, which would be, instead of, but on an acoustic, you know, when it's just one instrument, it probably sounds better to do it down here. This bit's optional anyway, these last 2 bars of the verse, but what I'm doing is a pinch on the E to start with, the low E, then the G, B, high E, then 2 bass notes on the low E, then the D, G, B. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then we're going to go to this version of E now, which is actually a D chord moved up 2 frets. So if you take a normal D shape, move it up 2 frets, it becomes an E. Obviously you wouldn't want to strum it because we get clashing notes in there, but if you was just to play the top 3 strings and the low E, that's just a different version of the E major chord. Okay. So we do a pinch on that for 1, then we do a bass note on 2, 3, another bass note on 4, then we do a quick, which is just 1st fret of the G string, kind of like part of a normal E major chord, but we don't need these other fingers on. The 1st fret of the G, then high E, then B. So those 2 bars on their own. First one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we got move the D chord up 2 frets, so it should be on 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 frets from the kappa. Pinch 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a quick movement back to the 1st fret, and then 5, 6. Okay, so all together the verse is like this, the way we're doing it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, or like I say, for the E, you could just do. Some people might prefer the sound of that, the simpler sound, but I like, you know, the bit that kind of resembles the recording a little bit. Either works fine. Okay. For the verse, you repeat all of that. Then we go into the chorus, which is where we're going to strum it a little bit now. And what we're going to do is A, D, A, D, a bar of each. So A major to D major. So we're going to strum it down strums. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keeping that groove going. That. Okay, that there, nice and big, nice and loud, quite simple. If you play A major with your index finger 2nd fret G string, middle finger 2nd fret D, ring finger 2nd fret B, it allows you to hold your index finger where it is for the change to D. Rather than the way I normally play A is like that. Then I've got to reset all my fingers. But I do that just because I've always done it, okay? But this is the way I recommend you do an A when you're playing it, especially when you're playing it going into a D, I should say. Okay, so that's that bit of the chorus. There is a little bass run you could do the second time you play the D. So you do A as normal, D as normal, A as normal, then the D, you go 1, 2, 3. Then pinky goes 4th fret on the A. Index comes up to 2nd fret of the A. And then open A. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, open. That'll take a bit of practice. You may have to just drop the chord shape. if you can't stretch. If you can hold your fingers where they are, it lets the D ring out underneath, which sounds cool. It doesn't matter too much really. Okay, that's that part of the chorus done. 4, 2, 0 on the A string, that little bass run. And the next part of the chorus is just simply an A to an E, so a full bar of each. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then it's you just keep me hanging on part, which is a little bit trickier because it's an F sharp minor to E to D. Okay, there's not really much you can do about the F sharp minor. There's a couple of things I can show you which make it easier. The full version is where you just bar across the 6 strings with the index at the 2nd fret from the capo, ring finger and pinky at the with the 4th fret from the capo on the A and D strings. Okay, you can play like that. Tricky chord that. Okay, or you could bring your index down just a bar across the top 3 strings, the G, B and high E, where you let your ring finger and your pinky play the same notes as before, but index is only barring across 3. That's still quite hard. You can then take your ring finger off or pinky off and just play one note there, which would be the 4th fret of the D, while doing that little bar across with the index. Okay, so you got a couple of different versions. They're all difficult, they're all awkward. Okay, some of them are actually more awkward than others, obviously, but that's if you're going to strum this part. That's what you need, one of those versions. Okay, but if you're just going to pick it, I'll show you something else in a minute. Okay, but let's just imagine you're doing the big 4 bar. You're built up to that. That's ideally what we want to be doing. Just going to strum it and then pluck the high E, then the B. Okay, you don't have to do these 2 plucks. You could just do that. But these plucks just fill in the blanks. Okay, so what we're going to do is strum, pluck, pluck, high E, B. Then move to an E chord, E major, and then pluck high E and B. When you're going from that way of doing the F sharp minor, it makes sense to just slide down with the ring and the pinky and add your middle finger on the 1st fret of the G string to make the E major. So your middle, so your ring and pinky are going to slide down to the 2nd frets, and then you're just going to add on that middle finger. Okay, then you're going to go to the D for a full bar. Okay, so it's half a bar on F sharp minor, half a bar on the E, a full bar on the D. Okay, and the D, when you get to it, you can do the little pattern there, which I'm just doing a strum, then G, B, high E, B, G. So the standard pattern from before. And just plucking them a little bit softer just to fill in the space. But the first initial strum is quite loud. Okay, so that's... Okay, you don't have to be overly precise with these plucks. It's all about the big strumming part. Make sure the chords are clear. Okay, so you repeat that bit there, that F sharp E to D bit. Okay, and then you go back to the verse, another chorus, then we've got the interlude, which is very tricky. But before we do the interlude, I just want to talk about how you can simplify that F sharp minor. You could just do this for this section, if you wanted to, because it's a lot easier. Okay, hear that? That's just the outline of the chords of the F sharp minor to the E to the D. And all I'm doing there is fretting with my index finger 2nd fret low E, middle finger 2nd fret on the B. I'm plucking the low E and the B together. So that's obviously a lot easier than barring. I'm just plucking them two, and then plucking the open E and the open B. And that's part of the E major chord, but those strings are normally open anyway, so I don't need to put my fingers on. And then the D, playing as normal. You could even add the pattern in on the D, so you could go. So that still works. It's not great, it's not massive, but it's a nice way of doing it. There's nothing wrong with doing that at all. You can still hear the outline of the chords, but it saves you from having to that brutal bar. Because if you're a beginner, that's going to be really, really, really tough. But if you're an intermediate player, you still might find that bar tough, because that's a tough bar shape to play. Okay, so whatever it is, if you want to just keep it simple for that bit, it's only a short part of the song, short part of that chorus, then it's fine to do. Right, now we'll tackle the interlude, which is a little bit tricky, and it's this. It's actually not too difficult for the fretting hand, but the picking hand has to work quite hard here. What we're doing is doing the shape, that mini F sharp minor shape I was on about before, when we simplified the chorus, the end of the chorus. So 2nd fret low E, 2nd fret B, pinch them. Then 2nd fret again on the B, take your middle finger off, open B, 2nd fret B, open B. Now that's quite easy, slow. Trouble is, at speed, you got to try and alternate your fingers to get the speed, because it's difficult to keep plucking with the same finger over and over. Some people can do it, but I like to alternate fingers because you get twice as much speed available to you, as long as you do it well. So you're going to pluck with the thumb and the middle. This is all about the picking hand now. Thumb and the middle, pluck. The middle again. Then index for the open. Middle for the 2nd fret. Index for the open. Now you could swap that over. You could do index, middle, or middle, index, middle, index. Doesn't matter. So that's that first bit. Then the next bit is just open low E, 2nd fret B, and then it's just the same. Okay, try and alternate the fingers. So that bar is. Okay, now then we're going to move on to the second bar, which is like based around a D chord. Okay, and what we're going to do is 2nd fret on the B, open D, pluck the two together, and open B, then 2-4, 2-4 on the G. So it sounds like this. Try and get that rhythm in there on that. It's a bit of a distinctive rhythm. The second 2-4 is a bit slower than the first 2-4, but just listen to it and you'll hear how it sounds. Okay, so the interlude, the first bar on its own. Okay, then the second bar. You do all that 3 times, and then we go to the outro, which is the you reap what you sow line part of the song, where it just fades out. And it's just 4 bars that keep repeating over and over. It's A major 7, G major 6, D, A. Okay, but we're going to play the chords, it's just little partial ways, okay? So we've got 1st fret on the G, 2nd fret on the B. We're going to pinch A, G, B, and open high E together. Part of an A major 6, A major 7 chord. So it's 1, 2, 3 on that. Then we're going to pluck the high E 3 times. 4, 5, 6. Now you don't have to do those plucks there. It's just to keep the groove going, really. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're going to move on to a G major 6 chord, which is 3rd fret low E, and then open G, B, high E. Okay, again, you could just pinch 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or you could do what I've kind of got going, which is just lots of bass notes on each beat. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just doing the bass note on beat 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, once you've done that, you go to a D chord and you pluck the D and the G together. Okay, and then you've got this nice little run, which is this. Okay, then you go to a D chord and you put the D and G together. So it's open D, 2nd fret, G. Then you got a nice little run, which is this. Okay, and a tail bit before it loops back round. Okay, so the little run from the initial pluck was the open D to G, D and G. Okay, then you're going to do this. Pluck the high E and the B together. No need to move any fingers here. Okay, then you're going to have to go 2nd fret on the B, open high E, pluck that. So that's. Okay, I use my index finger for that 2nd fret on the B, because it allows me to get to the next part, which is 3rd fret of the B and 4th fret of the G. So it's a change of strings now with the picking hand. Pluck the G and B together, then you're going to go to an A. And I'll just do a little bar with the A here, because I don't need the high E string. So I'll just bar across, but you can play the A any way you like. So just to recap that bit then, because it's a bit fiddly. The D is the initial pluck on the D and G strings. Then the run is, and we're doing that by keeping the fingers static for the first pluck in the run, which is 3rd fret B, 2nd fret high E, pinching them two. Index finger 2nd fret B, pinching B and high E. Move the index finger up 1 fret for the 3rd fret. Keep it on the string. 3rd fret on the B, middle, 4th fret on the G, pinch, then into the A. So that's. I'll have to practice that on its own just like that a few times, or quite a bit to be fair. It depends on how awkward you find it. It is a bit awkward. Okay, and then the final bit, which is, so I'm just in the A position, plucking the D string, the B string, the 4th fret on the G, the 2nd fret on the G. That's another reason why this little bar works quite well. But you can do it that way as long as you could stretch with the pinky. Now these 4 notes here aren't that necessary. They're just a way of leading back into the, just so you can loop it all over again. You hear it just sort of leads it in nicely. Okay. So just to recap the whole part then, we'll do it all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just keep repeating, and eventually it just does the, the last time through, you just slow that little tail down and finish on the A for a big dramatic slowed down diminuendo type feel. And that's it, that's all the parts. Quite a few parts going on there, but it's such a wonderful song, so much fun to play. You've got a distinctive intro right away, nice and dark and brooding, that intro. You got the verse, which lightens the mood a little bit, really powerful. The big epic chorus with the chord changes in there, the difficult F sharp minor in there. You got your interlude, which is a brilliant instrumental section. Not even played on guitar, but we've adapted it to the guitar to have some fun. Then you got that wonderful outro. It's such a song with so much, it's very deep. I absolutely love this song, I think you can tell. Probably one of my all-time favourite songs. It's a lot of fun to play. So I want you to enjoy it, have lots of fun, and maybe have a perfect day playing it. Okay, enjoy yourself. See you in a video soon. Cheers, bye-bye.